He is a political economist. He was appointed by the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua to serve as the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Kingsley Chiedu Moghalu says if elected President of Nigeria, he'll prioritize the economy, tackle insecurity and boost quality education, especially to underserved communities across the country. Now, Moghalu is running under the platform of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. He had run for the same position in 2019 under the Young Progressives Party, where he scored 21,886 votes to place 14th position behind the winner, President Muhammadu Buhari of the APC. Now, he will be running against 13 other presidential aspirants in the ADC. How does he intend to clinch victory? We will be speaking with Moghalu about his dreams for Nigeria and the chances of the ADC ahead of the 2023 polls. And also on the program, the prelate of the Methodist Church of Nigeria, His Eminence Samuel Kanu Uche, who was abducted earlier in the week in Abia State, shares his experience with Arise News on what actually happened and how he escaped from the kidnappers then, especially after a ransom payment. I'm Somna Sambu, and this is the Arise interview. Very warm welcome to the show. Now, Professor Kingsley Moghalu is the presidential aspirant under the platform of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Moghalu says he intends to fix the economy, security, education, as well as other social issues in Nigeria if elected president. He says he is offering Nigerians a clear vision and a plan. Moghalu says the office of President of Nigeria is a job, not an entitlement, based on the number of years a candidate has spent in politics or merely on personal ambition. Moghalu noted that in 2023, Nigeria's national situation requires Nigerians to elect a president who will fix the economy, unite the nation's diverse peoples, secure territorial borders, as well as restore Nigeria's standing in the Committee of Nations. He is pledging to build and unify the country into, quote, one nation, with a common national ambition upon which the Nigerian state will build its people and present a formidable nation in the Committee of Nations. Well, for more on this, I'm glad to be joined in the studio by Professor Kingsley Moghalu, who is a presidential aspirant of the African Democratic Congress and a former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. So good to have you again, Prof. And how has it been? I mean, your party, the ADC, has between 12 to 14 aspirants. What gives you the confidence that you'll emerge as the flag bearer of the party?
Well, you know, I certainly hope so. I hope that my vision, my experience, my credentials, my profile, which I think the ADC will find very competitive when you go against APC and PDP. I hope that will persuade them. But let me also tell you that it's not, you know, a do or die fight we are having amongst ourselves or between ourselves. No, it's more like a family where the 12 aspirants, we call ourselves the 12 pillars of the ADC. And, you know, we have a lot of things we do together. And so we're really a team, you know, and whoever emerges, you know, we will work together to save this country and to offer it the kind of leadership it has longed for many years, but has not had.
Yes.
Yes.
And your national convention is slated for June 8th?
Yes, it's slated for June 8th. Yes, we have several interesting and brilliant young people. You know, we have people like Chukwu Kamonye, we have people like who's a consultant, we have Dumebi Kachuku, who's an entrepreneur. We have people like Chanel Ojay, and so many others, you know.
Angela Johnson, and Princess Chichi,
yes,
just
Bishop of Okansi,
Dr. Muhammad Lamido.
Yes, Lamido, and several
others. It's well packed and from different parts of the country, actually.
Absolutely. We have the highest numbers of aspirants after the APC and the PDP. It's very interesting that in the last several elections, the ADC has always sort of been third after the two biggest parties. But of course, this time around, we're moving to number one. And that's the whole point.
And I really love to see if the ADC would actually do something better. But I was very interested in one of your events that you held where at that forum, the theme of the event was leading forward with knowledge-driven collegiate presidency.
Yes.
What was the reason for
idea.
the central theme,
Yes.
and how did you come to such a conclusion?
Well, the leadership of the party's chairman, Ralph Okenwosu, and our chairman of the board of trustees, Senator Patricia Akwashiki, yes, you know, they felt that the ADC should do something different and innovative. Let's address Nigerians on our vision for Nigeria. That's the aspirants, you know. It's not a debate. It was simply a pitch to Nigerians, 5 minutes to 7 minutes each. And that would show us as a party that cares about the country, and that this competition for the primary is really a family affair. It's not, you know, so we wanted to talk about leading forward, not leading backwards. A lot of politicians in this country live in the past. This country is stuck in the past. And that's one of the reasons it's not making any progress. And for me, for example, my vision is to lead Nigeria into the 21st century as a modern 21st century president. So that's the whole point about vision, which the ADC as a party is very strong on. The ADC believes that in 20 years, Nigeria should become a superpower. And that's possible. We should become like Malaysia, like Singapore, you know, at least a middle-level power in the world. One
interesting thing about the ADC, from all I've been reading and saying, is that you're not bogged down by the issues of zoning, by the issues of ethnicity, religion, and all of that. There just seems to be this compact design of policies to help Nigerians understand that, look, 2023 is different from other previous elections. Tell us about that.
We believe, I certainly believe, and all of us in the party believe, that 2023 is an election like no other. It is the defining election for the future of this country. We either get it right, or we just continue to sink down a rat hole. So the whole point is, we believe in quality. We believe in ideas. We're a party of ideas, but we're also a grassroots party. And when you combine ideas and grassroots, when you translate vision into grassroots communication and empowerment, then you can have a country, Nigeria, that can become transformed within a few years. But you find that what all the traditional politicians do, including many who want to pretend that they're not traditional politicians but actually are, is that they're in it for themselves. It's politics. You know what the definition of democracy is? Government of the people, by the people, for the people. But in Nigeria, democracy has become government of politicians, by politicians, for politicians. And so the masses are not even in the picture. So we want to bring the masses into the picture. We want to empower them. I mean, look at how poor many Nigerians are. About 50% of Nigerians live in extreme poverty. That is horrendous.
Yeah, but these same Nigerians you want to rescue don't consider your platform, the ADC, as a viable platform to deliver the presidency.
Many of them increasingly do and will. You see, societies evolve. They are never static. So what was the situation yesterday may not necessarily be the situation tomorrow. That's why I say many people are living in the past. We, as leaders, we shape the future. And we bring our citizens along with us, not necessarily to where they would rather be, but where they need to be. People get very comfortable in a rut. You know, people are dishing out 5K and all that. But when you're educated, if we can open their minds to see that they have been mental slaves of the political class for 2 decades, since 1999, then they will be able to do something different.
Yes. Okay. And then a lot of young Nigerians have clocked 18 from 2019 till now.
Yes.
I would want you to speak to them on why you want to be president.
Well, I entered politics in 2018 because of the young people in this country, because of the youth. And I have a vision for the youth. That vision is one in which they colonize their future today. That vision is one in which they must take power, and I serve as a bridge between that future and the past. That's the point. And I have some specific programs that are aligned to the young people. For example, I believe that we must massively tackle unemployment in this country, joblessness. Many millions of young people are jobless and they're hopeless. As somebody with an economic background, I know how to create jobs. Look, in the central bank, I led the teams that introduced the bank verification number, the BVN. I led the team that digitalized the payment system. That's why you can today press your phones and transfer money.
And
so I'm a man...
Especially with the proliferation of POS almost
Exactly.
everywhere.
Exactly.
Now,
I was deputy governor for operations.
Easier.
I was deputy governor for operations and led those reforms, the implementation of those reforms to the payment system. So I'm futuristic. I am where the youth are and maybe even ahead. Because when we did those things, people could not imagine them. Our banking system and our payment system became far ahead of even the developed countries. That's why the young people of this country should trust me as a leader, because I know what time it is.
And I want to ask, how difficult is it for Nigeria to build a $1 trillion economy? A lot of politicians come around, keep talking, and at the end, our GDP still keeps hovering between 400 to 500 billion US dollars.
Yes.
Why can't we build a $1 trillion economy?
The reason is that the people who have power in Nigeria and tend to keep it do not have the knowledge. The blind cannot lead the blind. They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the capacity, and they don't have the commitment because they're selfish. Many politicians are in politics to make themselves rich. They're not in politics to build a $1 trillion economy. They don't even understand what that means.
And if you were given the opportunity,
but if
what
I were,
would you do?
What I would do differently is that I would come at the economy from the point of view of a proper philosophical foundation. You see, there's a secret to building a $1 trillion economy. It doesn't just happen by chance. It doesn't happen because you're speaking on a political campaign platform. It comes from knowledge. It comes from an understanding. And when you translate that knowledge into leadership, then it can happen. So let me explain something. An economy cannot become a $1 trillion economy if it's not a productive economy, if it's not an economy that is based on innovation, if it's not an economy that respects property rights, if it's not an economy where you have access to capital. And when I say access to capital, I'm not just talking about loans, which is the paradigm of many people, credit, but I'm talking about equity capital. So as president, I will set up a $1 trillion, minimum of $1 trillion venture capital fund that will finance innovation, finance new businesses for young people, and provide temporary unemployment support for young people for 6 months to a year, provided that you are willing to acquire a skill. You see, the secret is in skill. So we have to have what I call, or what economists call, productive knowledge. Okay. So that's why the education system is critical to creating a $1 trillion economy.
Yeah, I mean, among all the political aspirants for the office of President of Nigeria, we've seen yourself, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, and Peter Obi, and maybe Atiku Abubakar being strong on economic issues. Tell us about how we can do away with subsidy. Because this subsidy issue has been there. Even President Muhammadu Buhari criticized it. Unfortunately, he got into government and is promoting the same subsidy payment.
Absolutely.
What can we do about it?
You see, first of all, for you to tackle subsidy, you must have the political will. If you put politics before the economy, you will never deal with the problem of subsidy. You can't, because it's unpopular. If you try to touch it, you will become unpopular. So what you do is that first you must educate the citizens of Nigeria why this subsidy is bad for us. You cannot spend 4 or 5 trillion naira on petroleum subsidy and spend less than 1 trillion naira on the education system and on the health system. That is just absolute misalignment. No country can be doing that and prosper. But you need to explain this to people in a very simple way. So what do? You say, we will remove the subsidy, but we will plan its removal. And a lot of the money we save from it will go into education, healthcare, and a transport system that shields the poor from the effect of liberalizing the price of petrol. You see, this is the way to go. And of course, we have to have...
you won't have Occupy Nigeria to battle with, like it happened in 2012.
Listen, I'm not just a political economist or an economic leader, but I'm also a diplomat. Don't forget that I spent 17 years in the United Nations.
Yeah.
I know how to manufacture consensus around things that look like they're impossible. There are techniques for that. I learned it, I studied it, I practiced it. There's something called the manufacturing of consent.
Consent, yeah.
So
I've read that theory myself.
Exactly. So you're reading. That's good. You see, we want many people in Nigeria to understand these things. So that's what we will apply. It looks difficult, but we will bring the people around and see how we're going to do it with the least possible pain to you.
Okay.
Because if you spend, you will not have to spend 1 trillion naira to build, working with states, because you have to collaborate with states.
Okay, I mean, told we don't have enough time.
What
should we do with moribund assets of the country? I mean, there are so many of them littered everywhere.
Yes.
The refineries are there. Even you come to Abuja here, lots of public buildings, not well taken care of. What do we do with national assets that are moribund?
Well, certainly many refineries, the 4 refineries that we've had that have been moribund for years, and every year we spend billions of dollars on turnaround maintenance. It's just a pipeline for corruption. So you must privatize those assets. But the privatization of those assets must be done in a very transparent way. And you must make sure that stakeholder communities benefit from it. You don't privatize state assets to your cronies, fellow politicians who are already rich or wealthy businessmen. No, you use privatization as a tool for social empowerment and creating wealth for people who are already poor. I've already said it, that if I become president, the commercialization of the NNPC is not enough. It has to be privatized. It's privatized, but the Niger Delta communities and all the oil producing communities must have equity. Right. So and there's a way we will arrange this in a transparent way such that it benefits those communities and creates wealth, for investors as well. I just
hope that a lot of Nigerians, including the government, would have learned from the electricity privatization we all did, which
was not done well. It was not done well. It was sold to cronies.
So, okay.
It was sold. Let's finish. Let's finish. Don't run away from this topic because I'm never afraid of the hard topics.
Okay.
The electricity privatization was a scam. It was a disaster. All the people, or most of the people to whom they sold it, never managed anything about electricity in their life. They don't know how. Yeah. So it was sold to powerful people. That's why today we don't have any electricity.
We're suffering for it. Well,
yes.
It's very good to know that you're very ambitious on all of this. But let's get back to politics now. Yes. How much of the talk to delegates have you been doing? Have you been going around to meet these delegates? And as we head to Wednesday, when this national convention of the ADC will be holding, what's your optimism of emerging, and then how do you intend to go around to campaign across the country amidst insecurity and all of that?
Absolutely. We, all the aspirants, most of us, have been meeting with delegates across the regions of the country and talking to them and explaining our vision to them. And it's for them, therefore, to choose who amongst us they want to carry the party's flag. And this is the way we have approached it. And whoever emerges, that should be okay. And the party should be able to move forward. Of course, I hope to emerge. Because, like I said, I have made my arguments as to why, if I were to emerge, it will be all of us emerging. Because I will carry every aspirant along. It's going to be the dream team.
That's good enough.
Yes.
Do you think that if you emerge, it will help to settle the issues of this calls for a Southern presidency? And do you think that the South will receive it, will receive your nomination very well and possibly ensure your emergence amid all this drama of North-South?
Well, let me explain something to you about Kingsley Moghalu. If you did not know, let me explain. I am a Nigerian candidate for the Nigerian presidency. And that is why my support in this country comes from all parts of this country. I am not a tribal or ethnic candidate. If you go to the north, I am there. If you go to the west, I am there. If you come to the east, I am there. That's the kind of relationship I've created with Nigerians since 2018 when I started running for office. And even before, when I served as a deputy governor of the central bank, serving in a top powerful federal institution at the commanding heights of it. So, I am not, my support cuts across. Of course, I come from the Southeast. That's, of course, a reality. And I believe that that would contribute to assuaging the feelings that people have that we need equity, we need justice, and all of that. Yes, because that's also necessary for a country to be stable. Just
before we go very quickly, why are we running a command and control-like kind of economy? What's the problem?
Because I come back to it. We don't understand economic philosophy. And if you don't understand economic philosophy, if you lack the intellect to manage an economy to prosperity, you will not get it right. Command economies do not create wealth. The only place in this world where you have a state economy is China. But what they're doing is running a capitalist economy using state control. But the government of China, the mandarins, the civil servants, the policymakers, they're all very educated, very intellectual, very smart. They are not running the economy for political gains. That's why they're doing well. But most of this world, where people are producing wealth, capitalism is the greatest creator of wealth in the history of mankind. But you make sure that it carries the poor along.
Okay.
Yes.
Professor Kingsley Moghalu is the former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and presidential aspirant of the African Democratic Congress.
ADC.
Don't mind me, I've been having lots of all these APC.
And I want to tell you that we have some very practical political strategies that will see us in our
Yeah, and then we just hope that you all share all of this together with your colleagues once the president emerges in 2023. Yes. We must thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you very well ahead of your ADC National Convention next Wednesday. Thank you so much.